What should you do about your estranged dad asking to meet you one last time before he moves abroad? I'm 25 female, and I was born as the product of an affair. My dad, John, 70 male, was married to someone else when my mom got pregnant with me. From what I've been told, he promised her he'd leave his wife, that we'd be taken care of, and that we'd be a family. But when I was about 2, he went back to his wife and completely cut contact with us. When I was 3, my mom met David, 72M. They had 2 kids together, my half-siblings, and I quickly became the outsider in their little family. What followed were years of abuse. Emotional, physical, verbal, it was relentless. David assaulted me more than once, and my mom enabled him. At one of my lowest points, I begged her to let me live with my dad, but she told me he hated me and wanted nothing to do with me. Hearing that as a child broke something in me. At 17, I finally moved out to go to college, thinking I was escaping everything. Then, when I was 20, my dad suddenly reached out, saying he wanted to reconnect. I agreed to meet him once, mostly out of curiosity. That meeting has haunted me ever since. He admitted that during the years I lived with my mom and David, he was watching me. Literally. He told me he stalked me, sat in his car on our street, followed me to school and activities, even watched us through the windows. And then he confessed that he had seen pieces of the abuse. He remembered the time I begged my mom to let me live with him. He knew. And he did nothing. His excuse was that he didn't want to make things worse. I can't put into words how betrayed I felt hearing that. He had the power to intervene, but instead chose to stay hidden. After that, he offered to pay the child support he owed, directly to me. At the time, I was broke and trying to survive school, so I accepted. We stayed in low contact, but eventually he started pushing me to meet his other children and their families. I wasn't ready, and every time I refused, he acted like I was rejecting people who wanted to be there for me. It was too much, so I blocked him. Last year my grandma died, and one of my siblings told me both my parents wanted me to unblock him, so we could talk. Around then, he also told me he was sick. But I was already barely keeping my head above water, working nonstop, managing finals, and still being harassed by David. My CPTSD was triggered constantly and I couldn't keep engaging with them, so I just cut it all off. When I turned 25, the child support stopped, and so did his messages. For nearly a year, there was silence. Until now. He just messaged me again saying he's moving abroad to retire and finally rest. He says he wants to meet one last time before leaving, since this could be our only chance to see each other again. And I don't know what to do. Do I owe him this last meeting? Would it give me closure? Or just reopen wounds? Part of me thinks this is only for his peace of mind. Another part of me fears that if I refuse, I'll regret it forever. So here I am, stuck. Should I meet him one last time? Or should I finally let him go for good?